Welcome to the Brownsville Minute, a community-conscious conversation and a platform that provides information, wellness, love, and unity all on a digital platform. And our goal is to try to make sure that our community residents are informed, conscious, and that we are connecting the dots on a virtual platform. The Brownsville Minute is designed for everyone. Please join us with the Brownsville Minute. Well, good evening, good people. Happy Thursday. Thank you so much for taking time out of your beautiful day to join the Brownsville Minute. We do this for the love of you. And so I am super excited to have you join us this evening. I hope that you haven't been washed away by the rain, by the thunder, or whatever has been happening in these past couple of days. I'm excited that you have chosen to spend time with us, the Brownsville Minute. It is a platform that focuses specifically on you, the resident, you, the small business owner, you, the parent, and all. We are centered on this whole conversation in love and unity. And this is all for you. Each time we do an episode of the Brownsville Minute, we are highlighting the best and the brightest that reside in East Brooklyn with a particular focus on Ocean-Hill Brownsville. So this platform is open. And we welcome individuals to come and share their stories, share their journey. Um, for those who don't know me, and this is the first time you're joining the Brownsville Minute, thank you. I am Anita Pierce. I'm the principal owner of 11375. We serve as community business consultants that provide foundational education to small businesses, to nonprofits, to government agencies, and we pretty much focus in on socially relevant work in the areas of finance, wellness, and mental wellness, and particularly civic engagement. We have been working really hard to ensure that everyone has a voice and is pretty much informed throughout the year, not just in times of political or election season, but just throughout the year. Because one of the things that we recognize as a small business is that your voice matters, and that being actively engaged in all levels is important. And so if you're interested in hiring us for any of our services, please check us out at 11375. Yes, spell it out, ELEVEN, the number 375.com. We are also on Instagram, Facebook, and on LinkedIn, and we'll be happy to support you on your entrepreneurial journey. So, shameless plug, but not so much. I'm also the host and producer of the Brownsville Minute and also the real journey of the entrepreneur. So we are going to be featuring a number of entrepreneurs that are willing to share their journey through different various points. I happen to be a full-time entrepreneur, also someone's mother, but I'm excited to bring one of Brownsville's own on the Brownsville Minute. And so it is really exciting when you are able to unpack the small business experience from the perspective of a Native person who actually lives within the community in which they're serving. It's a different vibe, which you can have like conversations because, oftentimes we think that those who come from the community cannot have small businesses and cannot thrive. I'm gonna repeat that again. Just because you are from uh, a community that is perceived to be underserved, perceived not to have diamonds, that it's not that you can't do what you need to do in order to be in business. And that's not the case. My next guest on the Brownsville Minute is a resident of Van Dyke Houses. And so if you know anything about the Ville, you know that Van Dyke Houses is one of the places where people reside. It's a very big housing development, but it's one that's still full of love and awesome people that come from Van Dyke. And so my guest is a community advocate, a small business owner of Munch Hours. So if you're not supporting the local small businesses, particularly this one, after the show, you really should be. The food is good, and the service is good. So my guest, Miss Taylor, is a lifelong Brooklyn native, born in Brookdale Hospital. So if you ain't from Brownsville, you Brookdale is the spot. I'm a Brookdale baby too, so me, that'd be me. But Miss Taylor was raised in East New York, but now since 1998 has been a resident of Van Dyke Houses, contributing to the community service as first a volunteer working for Brownsville in East New York Garden Projects, and then received in 2004 an associate's degree in marketing and sales from New York City College of Technology, from the CUNY system, just like I am. So shout out to CUNY. Get that good education. We'll talk about that later. And further, Ms. Taylor received a BA from City College, another city university of New York, in communication. And then this is where the journey begins of entrepreneurship. In 2015, participated with the Nitra Food Pathway Program to receive a scholarship to start a business. So when we talk about the programs that are rich within the East Brooklyn community, that when you take advantage of it, it can propel you to your next level, but you just have to get into the programs. And this is what Miss Taylor did. Served within the corporate world, and then transition as a full-time entrepreneur with Munch Hours. So I am excited because Miss Taylor has some wonderful news. So I'm not going to talk anymore, except to answer questions and ask questions. Welcome, Miss Taylor, to the Brownsville Minute.
Oh, well, thank you. My pleasure, Queen. My
Welcome
pleasure.
to the Brownsville Minute. Hey, welcome to the Brownsville Minute. So
Hey.
I have,
So,
I'm like super excited to have you on, but I'm really curious because every time I see the bios and the resumes, there's always like stuff that's not in the bio. So tell the audience that's something that is not within your bio.
well, what's not in the bio, is how I survived for over 20 years in NYCHA residence. And man, like, I mean, if anybody knows anything about the conditions of NYCHA and the way they've been transitioning, I mean, it's what I can say is they're trying to get better, and what they've done is invest in their residents so that their residents can earn more and actually bring more to the community as well. So for everything that I thought that I wanted to run away from because it's New York City housing, I had to embrace the fact that I had an opportunity again to develop into an entrepreneur and to help serve the community, all because of NYCHA's investment.
Mm. So don't feel again that you can't take advantage of the programs and services. So let's talk about what was the reason for starting Munch Hours?
Well, I'll tell you a little secret. I had wanted to be back in 2013, maybe 2012. I wanted to be a part of the marijuana boom, the cannabis boom that was happening, right? I was very interested. I immersed myself in every networking group that I could network because I felt that I knew that there was going to be a change in the law that was happening back in 2008, right? So from 2008 to 2013, I thought that that would be my business thing, but because it did not happen fast enough, meaning it was still federally illegal, but all these states were making it legal, but then they were still having federal problems. The raids were still happening. So it took me a step back to say, listen, that's a very expensive product to try to be your first business out. I think that it's best for you to get some business acumen first. And I love to cook. I love to have that kind of energy transfer, nutrition and energy. I love it. And it just like, again, the universe opened up and said, why don't you become a part of this food business program? And it's like, wow, I can get trained on how to run a business. And if my idea is good enough, I'll get sponsored. Let me learn how to run a business first. And then down the line, that can be one of the other businesses I set up. So here we are.
And so here we are, and you're not turning back at all.
No, no, not at all. Not at all. I gotta say that all the years of working hard in New York City, and always after my resume, being a temp, being, just anything I could to keep the rent paid and to keep the bills paid, really wore me out. I wanted to do something. I didn't want to live the rest of my life believing that my salary was all I was worth based on how much the company wanted to pay me. There's a time where I guess you got to outgrow a job because you just don't want to follow the rules anymore. It's like we're becoming a teenager to an adult. You're like, I don't want to go at 9 o'clock. I just don't want to. But you still need to bring, I guess, service to the world in order to be able to have an income. And so I put my passion. I love to cook and I have a passion for it. And that's the way I wanted to make my income. So I've been blessed.
And so Munch Hours does garden to plate eating. So talk more in depth. What does that look like?
Okay. I have been, like you said in the intro, I was a volunteer for Project Eats through New York Cares, and Project Eats has a field in Brownsville on Amboy, I think Chester, and on Amboy actually. They have a couple of places here in New York. And for New York Cares, I also worked in the pink houses. UCC has a great garden and pink houses, another nature development by Linden Boulevard. And I was the lead volunteer for both of those projects. Back when I was transitioning, I'd been laid off from my Wall Street job. And I just needed a break from sitting in front of a computer, being in a cubicle and being cooped in on inside all day. It was a great mental health rejuvenator, in my opinion. What people don't know is that when I was young, I'm talking about elementary school years, I had a babysitter. She lived on Skank. Her name was Miss McNeil. She owned her brownstone and owned the lot next to it, and the lot was a huge garden, and that's how we grew up. I grew up every summer in Miss McNeil's lot. Okay, she made her own soap. She was a big woman. She had all the neighborhood kids, and I used to go from Cypress Hills into East New York to my babysitter so much that I went to school out here. So when I got a chance to get back to the garden, it just like took me back to like just an emotional kid. Like, you know, you get a chance to really play outside. You know, I don't know if that makes sense, but as an adult, I was outside, I was going to things, but I wasn't enjoying outside like I did when I was in the garden. So I started growing food and learning how to grow food in these gardens, doing these volunteer. And then it hit me that Munch Hour should be connected to the gardens. We should connect with what we grow to what we eat. And it's just this full cycle of life, you know, it's absolutely therapeutic, and I think it tastes better.
Actually, I mean, I really could agree with you because, you know, for those who are meat eaters, I remember buying caged free chicken. Is it caged? Yeah, is it caged?
I know.
And not for nothing, there is a taste for me. I taste the difference, and so even though now you're talking about years ago, now I try to buy either if you get it from a farm and have them. Now I'm not that skilled at like, you know, the kill, like that's not my thing. So I don't want to say that, but there is a taste, specifically when you have fresh vegetables versus, you know, frozen. There is a difference. So I can totally agree with you. I mean, we're so used to eating things, you know, depending on how you grew up, that were not nutritious or not healthy, that when we have things that, you know, don't have as much salt or whatever it is, we find it to be strange or abnormal. So yeah, I agree with you.
You got that right. You hit it on the head, Anita, because I had worked myself so bad that my adrenal glands had crashed, and it's a thing called adrenal fatigue syndrome. There's no real cure for that other than nutrition and rest. That's it. That's the only cure to help me build back my energy. I had to really change my diet. And what better way than, you know, make the same comfort food, but do a couple of things a little differently, would add some more vegetables.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, they don't bother us at all. So let's talk about, like, you know, some of the fun things that when you're in business that we don't like to talk about. Your startup costs. What did that look like when you started really getting really serious about, you know, taking a leap of faith to go in business? What were your startup costs like?
I don't want to lie to any of your viewers. I don't want to lie about this. One, because people sometimes over gratify entrepreneurship as is like it's a piggy bank. Like the money comes in and it goes in your pocket. And that is a myth. Okay. I want not to discourage anyone, because anything worth having is worth investing in. It doesn't grow overnight. Everything grows in the season for nurturing and care. So I believe in the same thing about a business. If you want to nurture it, you have to feed it. You know what I mean? And so the cost, fortunately, was absorbed in the startup because it was a NYCHA funded program. They had the pro bono lawyers. They had the best lawyers in the city. They had the pro bono business counselors, and they even gave me business mentoring. So I had that privilege, but after the first year, and it was all on me, I invested all of the money that I would have left Brownsville with into my business and was so sad because, again, I said I lived in NYCHA. I did not like living in NYCHA. That is not my ideal place to live. I wanted to get bigger and better and prettier and, all those bells and whistles. But there was, how can I say this? It was almost a compromise. There was a compromise that I had to make to say that I could be better in the place that I am, you understand, versus I'm going to get better only if I get out of here. That's what I didn't want to believe. You understand? You have to improve where you are currently. You're not going to, some people can improve out of the environment, and that's true for some people. But I didn't want to give up. Meaning when I said I didn't want to give up, meaning I didn't want to act as if running away from my people would make me somehow more successful. No.
So it's very interesting that you talk about, your startup costs were absorbed, right? So I know that on many platforms that I always encourage, individuals who are starting up, a lot of us do not have, I'm going to repeat this, because when I started my business, I had savings, but I did not want to burn through my savings to start my business. So I utilized every free resource that I could, that's accessible, that's for free, that helps you start your business. Because what I do now, I charge to do it, but I still push individuals to go get certifications through the Department of Small Business Services, through,
Yes.
the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce, their resource network,
yes,
through, other city agencies that are
the SCORE, the federal. I'll throw
right.
one in there. SCORE Center, Small Business Administration. This, it's a lot out there. Yes, yes.
And so do not hesitate, right? When you are starting up your business. I'm actually towards the end of the show going to put up, additional resources that you can tap in for free. Even, we're both certified as MWBEs. With the city, I happen to be with the state, and I actually got my process done through the Brooklyn Business Solutions. And that's also, how you can get started. So I can tell you that it will be an opportunity. Take advantage of every free resource. Like there are some organizations where they help to pay for your business application within the state of New York because there are different requirements. I know most individuals, when they're starting a business, they think that they have to pay someone thousands and thousands of dollars in order to start their LLC within New York City. And I can tell you, to start your LLC within New York City, the application is $225. Where the cost comes in, right? And this is where a lot of businesses that I know, they forget the publication of it. You have to publish.
Oh my God.
You have to do it. And that's where the cost comes in.
Two papers.
Right. You have to. And so you're thinking, you go to someone and they charge you all this stuff. Whoa, I can do this. You come to me, I'll tell you the truth, and then I will guide you to the free resources. And then when you're ready to scale your business, I'll say, if you're ready for me, then we can talk. But at the base level, take advantage of these programs. I don't know why we feel like, and I'm going on with this because I am examples of utilizing free resources. I'm not ashamed of it. We both came from Wall Street. And I'm shrugging my shoulders because these are the things that we encourage, and people shrug their shoulders and they're saying, this is not something that we can take advantage of. So I see the questions, and we're going to post the resources from the SBA. So I can tell you I'm a certified SCORE coach. So if you want to go through SCORE and get me for free, go through SCORE. I'm there, and you don't have to pay for me through SCORE unless you want to work with me outside of SCORE. And I have my reasons for, being a part of these programs. There are not a lot of individuals of color that can help to guide other businesses of color through the process. So when we say these services are out there for free, we're not joking. This is not a drill. This is real stuff that you can take advantage of. So hold tight. We are going to give you those resources, but I want to make sure that, and re-emphasize, programs are out there to help us grow. We got to take advantage of it. We have to. So I'm gonna pass the mic back over to you, because I know you had something else you wanted to add in.
I just echo everything that you're saying, and you know what? And
Uh-oh, we lost you. So while we are waiting for Miss Taylor to come back, because this is what happens when we are in this virtual space, I'm actually going to put up right now the New York City Small Business Resources Network. They have one-to-one services support that you can actually get. They have information about grants. You can get websites done. We actually had the senior director on the Brownsville Minute a couple of episodes back, Mr. Deshaun Mars. And so if you are interested in taking advantage of some of those, please be sure, to be able to take advantage of those particular resources. And so she's back. So I see you. And so, yeah, no worries. It happens. And so this is, I'm going to put this up again throughout as we wrap up, but there are grants between $5,000 and $25,000 that are available through the New York State Empire Development. It's a COVID pandemic small business recovery grant. Here is the link, nycsmallbusinessrecovery.com. Please, again, it's almost like we're saying, please, make sure and take advantage of it. I'm going to replay, this information so that you have it. But since you're back, I'm going to give you the floor again. So go ahead, finish what you were saying. Did we lose you again? Yep, we did. So yes, we will, hold on, bring it back. And so, yes, we have these grants available. And then also wanted to put up the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce also has like information as well, where you can definitely take advantage of this stuff. This is not a drill. These are things that if you are starting up your business, the Department of Small Business Services has resources, but these are the most recent ones. I'm actually going to put this up again so that you can see it, you can have it, you can screenshot this, and also, we'll make sure that this is posted on my business page. So we were talking about SCORE. If you want to book me through SCORE, looking to get startup access information, that's there. I think you're back. Let me just see.
Yes, I'm back. I'm so sorry, guys. I do live by an elevated line. If you know, the 3 train goes down Van Dyke. And it's a storm. So I think that there's just something happening with the connection. It is what it is.
You're perfectly fine. So yeah, so finish your statement. This is what
okay. Right. I was saying that I used to think that there was a pride, right, coming from paying for everything myself. Right.
Oh no, as the story gets good. All right, so I will go back to and this is what happens when we're in the virtual space, like when we have like really bad weather, it's like bad. So we're gonna work through this.
It is. I know. I'm gonna make it short. So basically, if I'm back, it's one of those things where if you can get a training wheels and a leg up with the help and the guidance, why not take it? The problem that I think I had before starting a business is believing I had to do everything myself because I don't know everything. I only know how to be an employee. I did not know how to be a business entrepreneur. I can say again, one of those myths that I think the money comes straight to my pocket, but I had to hold on to the money because it was more investment. Maybe the first 3 years was investments that came up to about $20,000. That's the first 3 years of startup cost because it takes that much to continue to grow. I think it did for me. I was food business, so price fluctuates. And I had to transport food and I had to buy that container. And I needed a car because the orders got bigger. And then I had the city as a partner and NYCHA as a partner. So they were also giving me marketing and promotion and publicity. So it's like a team. It's a team that helped Munch Hours form, but I had to make it a priority. I had to turn it in the idea into something tangible. And that was a very hard part because I've never done that before. So, I think that it's best for everyone to take advantage of these opportunities and programs because New York City does it best. And New York City has the biggest budget for it, to be honest with you. And once you learn it here, you can take it anywhere else in the world. So just, get your training here in New York and then branch out to the rest of the world. That's what my advice would be to anyone that wants to start up.
But we're not done yet. So,
okay.
What does your day-to-day look like? Like, so you talked about, large delivery, small. How do you start? Like, what is that? You wake up, hopefully you do some meditation and self-care before you get busy. Like, what does that look like for you?
Yes, I have to at 7 in the morning start my spiritual routine and my gratitude routine because just the fact that the limbs are still working and the limbs aren't aching and that everything is still in working order when I get back up, and that's a blessing. But basically it's, again, I'm going through emails or I'm going through the administrative aspect in the beginning of the day. So if there's anything that requires manual, and you're the boss, you're everything. I'm the delivery person, I'm the cook, I'm the phone answerer, I'm the receptionist, I'm the recipe, and everything. But when it comes to the big jobs, God bless my friends and my family because, oh my God, they come out to help. And I think it's not a typical day. That's a great part of an entrepreneurship. It's like you get these opportunities will happen on a Tuesday and you'll take it and be like, all right, we're flowing with this. And it's exciting. I think that it's exciting. Yes, it's cooking, it's food. But when you get that call that says, say if one of my best clients that I love out here is the Brownsville Community Justice Center, BCJC for short. They'll call me on a Tuesday like, hey, can you give us 200 sandwiches on Friday? And I'm like, sure. How am I going to do it? I'll work all those details after, but I'm just so excited that they called me and that like made the day. And then, then I'll get emails.
And so what typically happens is that, we get, services happen, and we get requests. And then it'd be one of those things that we either jump in, right, because we want to get like the business or not, but I'll pass it back over to you.
Yes, it's one of those exciting, each day is different, but you still show up giving your best. Basically, that's pretty much how it is. I can't say any more than that. Like my routine is to get up with gratitude and just look forward to whatever's going to come at me and say yes. Say yes to these opportunities. Don't be like, oh, that's only a few people. No. Every opportunity I take on because I enjoy it.
And so with that, right? And so you connect your business to the community in a number of different ways. Obviously, you have a number of clients that are community based, but what are some of the other ways that you give back to the community?
Well, I have been on the executive committee of the Brownsville Partnership, which is a community land trust that's headed by Ms. Torian Lewis. She's fantastic. She's been doing this for years. I'm new, so I attend the meetings just so I can pitch in to help bring more Brownsville residents into the education realm of ownership and community engagement when it comes to housing. So, but before I became a part of the Brownsville Partnership, I had been one of the founding members of the East New York Community Land Trust back in I met everyone in 2019, and in 2020, we really kind of just started taking off. And we all focused in 2020 on the tax lien sale. And so the reason I'm so passionate about community land trust and ownership will come back to that NYCHA statement of me not liking the conditions that I'm living in, and me not wanting to accept the other conditions of other places that were high rent, small space for no equity. Like, why would I jump out of NYCHA to pay double what it's worth for half the space? On top of that, a lot of rules. So I wanted to be a homeowner, but I didn't want to leave New York to be a homeowner. And unfortunately, that's the way of that was the trend of all my friends. Everyone that I grew up with left New York. And I was very lonely for a long time because, again, I'm just here working, 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 not feeling like I'm having anything to show for it when it comes to, a great place to live. And so, again, we can complain until you have to get involved to be better. And I didn't want to complain anymore. And I met a great group of people that also feel that Brownsville residents, just because low income doesn't mean renters for life. Okay, middle income doesn't mean renters for life. And whatever affordable housing they think affordable is not affordable for New York City families. Okay, and so I transitioned Munch hours to be able to feed the volunteers that help us with the Community Land Trust, to feed the volunteers that help us in the garden, because it's important to know that, give gratitude and thanks for people that give their free time to help better the community. And so that's my mission too. I didn't leave because I wanted to make it better, and everyone that's here deserves a better place to live. So besides just I'm not an entrepreneur that just wanted to take profit from my community. I'm an entrepreneur that wanted to have a mission-driven company. And my mission is about the community. That's our goal, is to make sure everything has to be right. The way they're living in their mind and in their body and outside of themselves. All of that has to be in a elevated, nutritious way, if I can say that. Nutritious probably doesn't fit, but it's the only way I can see that you get, an energy from source, not artificial. So, that's how I got involved. I mean, I've been involved in East New York Land Trust now. I've been on the board. We just got incorporated. Everything's been moving fantastic with us, and they're one of my biggest supporters. We also support small businesses too.
And so with that as part of your community advocacy and support, you have a recent win that you are going to be in a space that I hope that most of you take advantage of. So I've been to Governor's Island a few times. I've been there, as a part of Choral Leadership New York. That was actually my first time going to Governor's Island, and I've been a few times afterwards. But a little birdie told me that you're going to be there pretty much on the weekends all summer long. What's happening there? Did you freeze up with that beautiful smile? But at least she froze with the beautiful smile. So while we are reconnecting, I want to just share, some additional information that we have. Okay, you're back. You're back. So what we doing on Governor's Island?
Well, we are in Governor's Island for the season. It's a little spot called the Foodie Spot. New York City Housing has partnered with the Governor's Trust to, they picked only 3 of the NYCHA businesses to be included in the season. This is a pilot program, and I'm one of the 3. I'm also the second one to go, the second, I guess, NYCHA business to be on the island. And like you said, I have been, like you said earlier about going to Governor's Island and loving to go there. I had gone in 2016 for the first time and took my nephew, and we went bike riding. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. He loved it. He was like 4 years old, and it was just something new to do. It was very surreal. And I can't believe that I got chosen to be on now, because now I'm selling food there. There isn't a lot of places or a lot of people of color businesses on that island. So I am very privileged to be a part of this program. But more or less, I am very much happy to welcome anyone from Brownsville in East New York who has not been to Governor's Island. If you have not experienced it, come out. Come out. It is serene. It is different from Prospect Park or Central Park. It is just luscious. It is a lush greenery of beauty of New York City, and I am privileged and blessed to be there. And I'm selling some great food. I got some meatball subs. I got some Haitian food that I have this young lady coming to make, and we're gonna be changing the menu every week to see what people like. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm even more excited than you are, girl, because I get to be there every weekend. Like, yeah.
And yes, you do have to take a boat to get the Governor's Island. Yes, you
Yes,
do.
you do have to take a
There
ferry.
is a ferry service, but it is a nice, if you catch it on a beautiful day when it's not, it is absolutely stunning. So please take a trip with your family. It's not an expensive like trip to go over there. I think it costs probably like $3. It's like the fare. You can take a boat. You can actually pack, some stuff, but you can also go out and support um, a small business and a familiar face that you know. And that is what I call like having like a real like win, right? And so it may not be a small thing, but for me, when it was mentioned to me, I'm like, you better make sure you promote that you are going. I'm like, because imagine how many of us who are from Brownsville, East New York, and other parts. How many of us have been to Governor's Island? I mean, we can say we have, but that's not the norm. So definitely take
Mm.
advantage. If it's something that if you want to get away, I mean, you're on this island and it's like you're in another world. That's the only way I could describe it. It's so beautiful. So Munch Hours will be there. The link to find, like, if you want to plan your visit, the food is scrolling at the bottom. We did do a promotion in our community announcements that we're going to be showing again. But guess what? Munch Hours is going to be there every on the weekend for the summer. So, what other opportunity to dare to go and to support? Just put it in your calendar and show up. So, I got just a couple more questions. Um,
Okay.
what kind of advice do you offer someone who's looking to start your business?
Okay. If they want to start a business at all, or food
Well,
business in specifically.
your
My
specific,
business.
your business.
Okay. I would I would give them the advice that um don't be afraid to fail, and failure does not mean defeat. There's going to be some things that you're going to take that is probably over your head, and you should have probably said no, or you should have prepared more. It's all within the learning curve of seeing how much you can do. And there's enough customers in the world for you to start over with a new client. Even if, I don't want people to feel that, one mistake can destroy their business. Depends on what kind of mistake it is, but it's a little engine that could type of thing when you have a business. My business in general, because I started out being a brunch company, or having the idea that it was brunch, and I didn't want to make chicken and waffles for the rest of my life. I got sick of it maybe the first year. And then but again, have that flexibility with yourself. Learn to say that it started out being this, but then I like it over here. And so that's where the Munch Hours and the healthy garden, the plate started, because I'm like, why am I doing fried chicken? And that's killing me. And I mean, not killing me literally. I love the taste, but it's not something I can eat all the time. Vegetables I can eat all the time, and it actually has a positive effect on me. But I can't eat fried chicken every day, and I don't want to serve people fried chicken every day. So is enough places that serve people fried chicken, is what I had to say to myself, even though that's what I love to eat. That's what I love to have, you know? And also, my advice would be don't be so hard on yourself and don't think money is the only reason you do this. Have something other than money be the reason you're an entrepreneur. Otherwise, there'll never be enough money and you'll never be happy. Have a mission that's bigger than yourself, because then you're providing service, and the universal law is you'll always be compensated for that.
Mm, you heard it here first. And so I want
Yes.
to, uh, as we are scrolling and wrapping up on our hour, I want to make sure that you all are doing three things, right? Number one, liking and following Munch Hours on Instagram, Facebook, and also connecting at munchhoursinc.com, making sure that, this summer, you know, while we are still in the midst of a pandemic, right? I know that it's warm. We're still in the midst of a pandemic, right? Do something safe, take a trip to Governor's Island, support Munch Hours over the weekend. Ms. Taylor will be there from 10 to 4, Saturday and Sunday, up until, what is it, August, the end of
August
August?
31st.
So yeah, that's an opportunity
Yes.
for you to take
Yes.
you and your friends, and just hang out and support and spread the word, right? Make sure that the food that's cooked, that she doesn't have to take any of this stuff home on the weekends. So let's be real clear about that. This is how we support this is how we support each other. This is how we do it, right? So that's over the weekend, right? The other
Yes,
thing is,
absolutely.
be sure, again, like, follow, and I'm actually going to check to see if there are any live questions, because we do have some wonderful people joining us live.
Ooh.
They asked about, the resources. So we did put the resources in the chat, particularly about, the SBA.gov. I know that there was a question about building services and I'm not sure specifically, um, what you were asking for, Terry Clifton, if you're still watching, um, about what specifically you had regarding building services. So if you're still watching, I will hang around for a little bit longer to see if I can answer your questions, because I'm not sure whether that is dealing with, regulations with buildings or whether it's in construction, because we did have,
Okay.
Brisa Builders on, Miss Erica Keller, who is a developer, who is from Brownsville, that was looking to have and also hire individuals, to work. And also there was a program that is also being run, but I just can't remember, to help individuals become certified to work in construction. So those things do exist. I just don't know for sure what direction your question was going. And so, yes, Miss Satin Blue, thank you for joining. I will send you this information, but the information is also plugged into the chat, the SBA.gov, SBS, and New York City.gov, SBS. And I'm also going to plug up the information that I posted before about the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce. They have a resource, group. This is actually the link, that we use when, the senior director, Deshaun Mars, was on. This is stuff here for free. I'm not just, saying this because, it's a great idea. They help with website. They help, to offset some of the costs. Because again, we talked about earlier in the program that a lot of this stuff costs, right? There is cost. And, sometimes we just don't have it. And it's okay, because there are programs and services available there to support you through your process. And so it's nothing to be ashamed of. I've said it numerous times, that I have taken advantage of everything that comes. And it's a challenge. The thing is that it's the navigation of it. Sometimes we're like, oh, it's free. Yeah, it is free, but it does require you to follow up. It does require you to submit your
Mm.
documents. It does require you, that if you are in business, to know how to manage your finances. Because what I often say is that sometimes we are in business and our personal stuff is jacked. Like, but then we want to be in business. Those behaviors cross over. So it's better to get support by utilizing these resources here that are for free. There's nothing wrong with free, are here. So I'm looking to see, there must be no additional comments. So I'm just going to continue to post these, the grants, you know, the grants. And also, we talk about SCORE. I am a certified SCORE coach. So if you want to book me, I'm right there. I may look a little different, but the smile is still the same. So that'll be me.
Yes, take advantage of that
And
mentorship.
so,
That's what really helped me. The
take
business
advantage of it.
mentorship.
And so it's, again, nothing to be afraid of, but I'm also going to, again, put the real reason why we're here, not only just to share resources, but to make sure we highlight, someone who's actually doing the work within the community, and also services on Governor's Island all weekend. So I don't want to hear, the reason why no one is not supporting, because you can get a half-day vacation while you're on Governor's Island and some great food. So boom, there you go. But before I let you
Thank
go,
you. Yes.
at the end of the Brownsville Minute, we are now doing what we call one word rapid fire. You can only answer with one word. So, what's your favorite borough?
I'm ready.
Ready?
Brooklyn.
Where Brooklyn at?
Brooklyn.
Where Brooklyn at? What do you do in your downtime?
Sleep. No, play poker. Play poker. That's my downtime. That's better than sleep. I play poker a lot.
That's pretty. That's pretty cool. What's your favorite exercise?
Ooh, I'm not stretching. I like yoga. I'm not going to say that that's exercise, but you definitely get a heart rate up, and that stretching in the beginning of the day. Okay, sorry, one word. Stretching.
Okay. Pizzas or burger?
Burger.
Smoothies or ice cream?
If the ice cream spikes, nah, smoothie.
And what is the legacy that you would like to leave for your family? And that could be
Oh,
longer than one word.
okay. I love that question. I love that because I would love to leave a legacy again of inspiration. I don't think all this material stuff is temporary to me. I don't think that I'm going to leave them a business, even though I have a will where my nephew and my niece get my business should anything happen to me. That's kind of a
Mhm.
passed down type of thing. But the legacy, I guess, that I really want to leave everyone is to your beginnings do not dictate your ending, your outcome, your life journey. Never, just because I'm from Brownsville, I never wanted to feel a defeatist mentality or a lacking mentality or this idea that I couldn't be anything because of where I come from. But and anyone else that sees Munch Hours and inspires by Munch Hours, find that within you that you love to do, that you want to keep doing regardless. People don't have to agree with you for you to like to do what you're doing. That's all I can say. If nobody had a food or nobody ordered anything for me, I'd still be cooking. I'll still be in the garden. I'd still be advocating for my community. It doesn't, one thing, or at least someone else's rejection doesn't dictate my success as a whole. You know, I just say that there are different people, there's different tastes out there. That's not your customer, but that the next one may be, and the next 10 may be, and the next 20 may be. So don't give up. That's my legacy. And before I go, I do want to plug that the East New York Community Land Trust is doing a fundraiser right now on IOB, and they can reach out to me on munchhoursinc.com or any of the other Instagram or Facebook with their email address, and I will send them the link so that they can donate so that we can go public and go live. Because we are trying to get land out here to build houses for people.
So again, I don't want to hear no excuse why we can't support one another. $10 go a long way. Listen, we do that
Yes.
with the Dunkin' Donuts and whatever it is that we buy. $10 could be used to support this cause. And so I see a couple of questions, and I don't know, Ms. Ritchie, thank you for your questions. I'm not sure if this question is for me, but are you asking myself or Ms. Taylor, do you help people with starting small business? I don't know who that specifically is for. So I know that you may be
Well,
typing.
I'm mentoring the young lady that's helping me right now with the Governor's Island. She's wants to get her business up and running, and I'm helping her see how it handles day to day. So, I mean, I'm not the capacity to help everybody else, but I want to grow to that. I'll give people as much advice as they can. They want to reach out to me. I got advice, definitely some good advice.
And so, if you're asking for me, yes, I do help small business grow and scale. That's part of my business model. I'm a business
Yes.
fundamentalist. I get in your behind about the fundamentals because I think that opportunities are missed because we do not have our foundation solid. And so for both of us, I'm a generalist when it comes to building businesses. I am not specific to like building restaurants. That's when Miss Taylor comes in, can be like your guide in starting, what that looks like from the restaurant side. But I'm a generalist, and my experience crosses all platforms. But if you want something a little bit more specific, like what Munch Hours is doing, then please contact Miss Taylor. Her information is munchhoursinc.com, or you can contact via IG or through website. So on that note, I want to thank you all for joining the Brownsville Minute. Thank you, Miss Taylor, for taking time out of your schedule to come and
My
join
pleasure. My pleasure.
us. And so I'm going to send you some smooches, and I'm going to wrap up with some more. So stay in touch and support Munch Hour. Sending you lots of love, and we're going to be out there to
See you on
support
Governor's
you.
Island.
That's right. Bye, y'all. Bye, Miss Taylor. And so what we are going to do is there was a number of questions that came up with regards to, some of the information. And as we talked about, again, this is a resource filled the Brownsville Minute is about resources. And so I'm going to place up, that information again about the Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce. There is a grant between $5,000 and $25,000 that is now available through New York State Empire Development. It's COVID pandemic small business recovery grant. Now, I want to emphasize this, right? Use this link because there are a number of organizations that are running scams, right? So whenever there's an opportunity, there's always scams attached to it. Use this link. New York State is from New York State. The administrator is, I believe, Lettistry. But when you check out the link through nysmallbusinessrecovery.com, it will lead you directly to the application, the requirements, etc. So again, it is important that you connect directly to the actual source than not. There are grants available between $5,000 and $25,000. They're all available. However, yes, there are requirements, right? Again, you should have filed your taxes, right? Most small businesses may not have done so, but please make sure that all that stuff is in order, that you did not file a loss, etc., like most of us may have, in order to have gotten, within our business. The opportunities are there to take advantage of it. I also want to mention that the Central Brooklyn EDC is actually hiring for 2 opportunities. The first one is through the first one is a manager position. They're hiring a manager position and also an assistant position with the Brownsville BK, which is the Brownsville hub Cooperative. That's actually a new opportunity that is committed to training entrepreneurship and employment opportunities for residents, specifically in Brooklyn. If you are interested in applying for that opportunity, please check out the brownsvillebk.org for the two opportunities. One position pays $65,000 full time, and that is for the manager's position, and the other one is for an assistant. These will be posted on our website. And so on that note, I will wrap up with all the information, and I want to thank you for joining us this evening. Stay tuned. We'll be back next week with the Brownsville Minute. And so I'm really grateful for you to join us, and thank you so much for your time. See you next week. Bye.